welcome. My name is Modipe and this is the Bush Channel. On the Bush Channel, we discuss how we survived or how we are surviving difficult circumstances through God's amazing grace. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you can be notified when we have new videos on the channel. We introduced a new feature on the Grace channel where we have our friends tell us what grace means to them. Remember, it's called the Bruise of God's Amazing Grace. So we want to hear their perspective. What does grace mean to them? So today I'm so excited as I present our first guest feature telling us what grace means to her.
Grace. When I think about grace, I picture a pot, a clay pot, a broken, muddy clay pot. But this pot has jewels in it. So gold, silver, rubies, other precious stones. Now that pot becomes important. The pot becomes valuable. The pot is able to find its way to palaces and places of importance, not because of the pot itself, but because of the content, right? So I'm that pot, and grace is the content that drives my value.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed listening to that perspective on grace as much as I did. So what are we talking about on the Grace channel today? Today we are discussing all things work together for good. You know, it's one of the things that we keep saying on the channel. All things work together for good. All things work together for good. But sometimes in life, it doesn't feel that way. You know, when you keep getting that persistent no, or when you're praying fervently for something and the answer doesn't come, you really don't want to believe it's working out for your good. So I'm going to share two instances where initially I was almost getting hungry, but then eventually it turned out for good. A few years ago, I felt like it was time for me to move houses. So I started searching for houses in the area. And then I found this house that I really liked. It was a bit on the pricey side, but I said, oh, I want that house. The location was right, the size was right, everything was right. And then I spoke to the agent and, you know, it looked like, yes, I can get this house. And I remember very well, like I was praying that God, don't let anything go wrong with this transaction. I just want to get this house. I just want to move, you know, newness, just start living in a new house as soon as possible. And then I was praying, and you know that belief about, you know, when you pray, you know, you confess, you claim it to be yours. I even remember that I even practiced a principle that, you know, when they say that where the sole of your feet has stepped on is yours. So I went to the neighborhood in the evening and I said, this house, I'm living here, I'm going to be in the area. To cut the long story short, the next day the agent said, oh, they weren't going to give me the house, and I was so devastated. I was like, oh God, I really wanted that house. Everything about that house was right. Why didn't it work out for me? Turned out that some months later, my priorities changed and I was relocating out of the country. And so I didn't even need to have a house in the country anymore because I was moving. And it was then that it dawned on me that if I had gotten the house, then it was, you know, like I said, it was pricey. I would have bought a lot of things and I probably wouldn't have gotten the same value for resale. So God, who knew the end from the beginning, who knew, even when I didn't know, that my priorities would change and I would have to move out of the country, was right there when it, even though I was praying and I wanted it and I was negotiating with him, that worked out for good. Now, when I relocated, I also found a house, and I was looking for houses, and I had a fixed term to get a house, and I was really desperate and I was very prayerful, and I got to this apartment. I fell in love with it and I was like, this is my apartment. And I started my principle again. Started praying, started claiming, started declaring, and it just wasn't working. The agent said, oh, they couldn't hear from the landlord, and later, oh, the landlord said no. Really like, oh God, what am I going to do? I'm stuck. To cut the long story short again, I think a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I got an extension, and then eventually I found an apartment that was maybe like 20% cheaper than the one that I desperately wanted. So now fast forward again, and now I'm looking back and I'm saying, God, thank you. Okay, yes, I was angry with you then, but now I know what you were doing. What am I trying to say? All things work together for good. When we are in the process, it's very uncomfortable. You know, we don't really like the process. We really just want things to work the way we want it to work. right now, right here and there. I want it now. But most times, sometimes the time between when we didn't get what we want and when we finally realized that it was best that we didn't get it, maybe it's a long time, and you know, you really, in that process, you really don't want to look forward to. But trust me, I think back to those two experiences among many, but those two that I've shared with you, when I look back in hindsight, I'm grateful that I didn't get what I wanted when I wanted it. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like, please share, please comment. Let's know that you were here. And until the next time when we are here on the Breeze channel again to share an experience of how we survived a difficult circumstance through God's amazing grace. Don't forget, God loves you. Bye-bye.